Hi guys and gals and kittens, and welcome to the iNiro Magic Show. In this video I'm going to show you a kick-ass fucking web scraper. This was just released in the latest release of Magic. I want to crawl a website. Great! What's the URL? I want to crawl all URLs from iniro.io that does not contain blog in their URLs. I want you to return HTTP status code in addition to its H1 title, meta description, and all hyperlinks you find on all pages. Instead of using all, let's take the first 5, because this is a YouTube video. This is about 10 years ahead of every single existing web scraper in the world, probably including Google's. You see, the point is that I'm not dumping the HTML up to ChatGPT. If I did, I couldn't even crawl 5 pages at the same time, and much less 500. This thing can deal with 500 pages in one go. Because what it does, is that it generates Hyperlambda that invokes and retrieves that website and semantically inspects it and returns structured JSON. So I'm reducing the token count from like 2 million to 200 or something, right? Let me see what it did here now. Crawl result in Thomas tests. Okay, let's have a look at this guy. So it created a database for me, right? Created a new table for me with these fields. Let's see what data it inserted. 5 records, and of course I could have prompt engineered it to have a one-to-many relationship to URLs and, you know, get these in a child table or whatever the fuck I want, right? But the thing this can do, I can, for instance, take a website through natural prompt, create a new database, you know, automatically vectorize every single record after having scraped and crawled every single record. You know, let me show you something. Retrieve iniro.io /white label. Then loop through the first 5 external hyperlinks. Retrieve these together with their HTTP status code, collection of HTTP headers, and their H1 tags text value. You think this is gonna work? I can treat, with this web scraper, I can treat the entirety of the World Wide Web as my own relational database and like throw SQL at it, right? Now it's a little bit slightly more structured. You need to know a little bit HTML and, you know, stuff like that, and HTTP in order to pull this through, right? Show me that raw JSON. Okay, so it didn't figure out the headers. There's something wrong with the Hyperlambda here, right? Because it gets the numbers correct, but it can't actually, you know, get the values for each individual HTTP header here for some reasons, but okay, that's a hallucination or a bug. The point is that, you know, when I invoke, actually I can show it to you here. When I invoke the Hyperlambda generator, then what's happening is that it's using this text to generate Hyperlambda code, at which point you have deterministic code. Even if it's hallucinating or not is completely irrelevant. The point is the code is going to execute the exact same time, every single time it's being executed, regardless of, you know, whatever. So you now have deterministic code that can be reused. So I can now, you know, use this, and actually you can actually see this because you see the speed, it's 0.5 seconds or something, right? If I say 11 images from iNiro, then it's going to have to regenerate the code. But I can also generate Hyperlambda files that, you know, takes arguments, input arguments, stuff like that, right? At which point we're back to deterministic code again, right? And I can generate it using natural language, verify that it actually works, and then I have a reusable tool. At which point this thing basically becomes a self-evolving AI agent. You see, the code it needed to extract this data never existed in the first place. And the Hyperlambda generated that on demand, on the fly, as I gave it, the instruction I gave it. If I now tell it to, for instance, check www.hubspot.com and return a list of all images, make all images absolute and display the first 10 to me using Markdown. So now it's going to, you know, generate Hyperlambda that, you know, returns images, and then it's going to display them directly from me. This allows me to snoop around and use my AI agent. Let me see. It's not 100% stable, it's still work in progress. And now it generated throwaway Hyperlambda code in 1 to 3 seconds that it executes immediately on the fly. And then, okay, so it's got some SVG crap here, right? Kind of work still. But this is a data image where the image is a part of the URL, is the content of the URL. Modify your prompt such that it only returns PNG images. You see, the point is I can now semantically talk to the World Wide Web using structure. Or it's structured like outputs based upon natural language input. And this allows me to like browse the web using like a terminal AI based, you know, interface, right? Where I can, for instance, list all hyperlinks you found. Now, from an SEO perspective or a digital marketing agency perspective, right? There's nothing else out there, even you know, remotely resembling this. Try to go to ChatGPT and tell it to scrape 25 pages from your sitemap. What do you think it's going to do? You know, and if it actually works, then that's because they have implemented one function for that specific tool, right? Oh, these are hyperlinks, they're not images. Now it's probably going to, yeah. I can continue, scrape the second one, right, etc., etc. The point about what is happening is that, you know, there's an intermediate step between the LLM and the user. And that intermediary step is the Hyperlambda generator, which again just is a special LLM that's like highly capable of generating Hyperlambda code based upon natural language input. But that little step in between allows the LLM at the end of the equation here, so to speak, to have structured input data, being H1 values, H2 values, meta descriptions, HTTP status code, HTTP headers from invocation, etc., etc. To which point, all of a sudden, the context window becomes so dramatically reduced that all of a sudden I can deliver AI agents capable of dealing with tens of thousands of web pages simultaneously.